Your dog, my dog. What's up, man? It's your boy Indigo here. I'm in the kitchen, live, about to make a smoothie, making some hash browns. My go-to daily fast that I'm breaking. They call it break fast, breaking a fast right now. Forget all that. I'm on here because I need to acknowledge some information. I need to acknowledge why history is so important. I want to definitely acknowledge the fact that history is boring as fuck. Alright? Don't get it twisted. Why is it boring though? It's boring because it's false history. Because the history that we've been told has been told by our oppressors. And if you could really understand your enemy, right? You need to understand that your enemy is the one that's trying to control your mind. And they want you to believe a narrative. Okay? So, but we got to get to the root. We got to get to the root cause of everything. The indigenous people of this land, all right, they were worldwide. They were not just in one continent of the world. They were worldwide. Indigenous people. And when we talk about indigenous people, they have melanin, all right? Different aspects of melanin based upon where the sun is hitting them from. All indigenous to the land, but the sun hits people different based upon where they are on the planet. Let that sink in, okay? My problem is this. When you don't know who you are, when you don't know your circumstance, you don't really know where you're going. You don't have a direction of where to go or even how to not repeat the past. Because you don't know who you are, you don't understand history because history has been told to you by your oppressor. Notice in history, it says his story. It's your oppressor's story. It's not your story. They only tell you what they want you to know. That may not even be 100% true. So imagine the story being only 20% true out of the 100%. Shit can get deep. Now, the first thing that I want to acknowledge is this. One of the craziest quotes that I heard a couple years back was that we were on the land. These oppressors, our oppressors, came on our land. And we opened our arms to them. We were so happy and interested to see this species of humans. We were curious. And they needed help. They smell like shit. Okay? We taught them how to do a lot of different things. We taught them how to eat properly too. Alright? Now, when they came on the land, they gave us the Bible. Let me rewind that back. We closed our eyes. They gave us the Bible. We opened our eyes. They had the land. And we had the Bible. When you're connected to the soil, the land, you're connected to God. Because God is abundance in nature. All right? God is everything, especially nature. Like, yo, this physical, this man-made box, technically God created it because we created it with our minds. But there's a certain aspect of us that's meant to be embodied, and that's nature. We're not in nature no more because we're not aware of how slavery took place and why it's so important. If y'all know what I mean. All right. So when you can understand that the way that we live is unnatural. All right. But don't get twisted. We're God's people. We can adapt to anything. There's nothing that we can't adapt to. We naturally adapt to everything. All right. But that doesn't mean that it's extremely beneficial for our soul and our spirit and our health. Breathing in this air conditioner and you wonder why you got the sniffles when you wake up. It's not natural, bro. You gotta go outside, put your feet in the grass, breathe in some fresh air consciously. All right. Now, my biggest thing with our people, our indigenous people, is this. We've been called every freaking label in the dictionary, bro. We've been called everything at this point. They call us monkeys. I look like a monkey to you, bro. I feel like I look like God more than anything, okay? They call us monkeys, savages, call us colors and shit, like black. Do I look black to you, bro? If I look black to you, you may be a little bit ignorant. All right? You might be ignorant. All right? Because you've been programmed to believe that a natural living spirit is a color black. What color is this? I know I don't look like that. I know I don't. Now, you get to the root. These labels, man, come from your oppressor. And you call yourself that. And now you don't know your roots. So you gotta find out your roots. You gotta find out where it is that who you actually truly are. And it's okay and normal to ask yourself, who am I? It's very normal. I actually do it every day. Ask yourself who you are, and you'll get those answers. You know what I mean? My dog Soul just walked in the building, man. I'm recording right now. Make it smoothie, man. Make it smoothie, man. But like I was saying, who am I? And guess what? Whoever you are, I can't say that you're not. I can't say that you're not that. But I'm here to remind you of who you are. You're not a color. And you're not African American. What else they call us? I only say we're not African American because we're not from Africa, my guy. I'm not saying that we don't have any, we have some African culture in our DNA, yes. Because in reality, this whole freaking planet is Africa. But labels, alright? Your DNA, most of your DNA is linked to the land of what we call the Americas, okay? And the most important thing to understand is that the people that were enslaved in the Americas, most of their DNA is linked to what we call Indian cultures and tribes and stuff. But it's more like, hey, this is the Aboriginal people of this land. These are the original people of this land. These are the indigenous people of this land. Indian is a whole nother label that I don't like to acknowledge, just because Christopher Columbus came here and thought he was in India. So this is not India, motherfucker. Like this is like, come on, man. Like, now we calling ourselves Indians and we not Indians either. Like, no, bro. Like, we're indigenous to this land, and this is land, all right, that was stripped from people that completely forgot who they were. That's all. But guess what? If you talk to your great grandma, your great granddad, or even your grandma, ask them about your Indian tribal stuff that you're connected to. They know something, because you got some Indian in you. If you from the Americas and you got copper skin, you got melanin skin. From the Americas, you got some type of Indian culture going on. Okay. And this is for my, like I said, my melanin people. Like, everybody I know in my life, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, okay? Everybody I know, I'm fully aware that they got some Indian DNA going on, all right? So, when I found this information out, I picked my people's brain. I picked my ancestors' brain. When I say my ancestors, I'm talking about my uncles, my aunts, my granddad, my grandma, whoever's alive, all right? Ask them questions. Ask them like, yo, what do you know about our great grandma? What do you know about slavery? All right, and then ask them about, like, do you know anything about us being connected to any Indian tribes? Okay, that's when I found out that my father's side of the family is Blackfoot Indian. My mom's side is Choctaw. Okay, like, I'm not saying that we don't have mixed genes. We do. Like, we had slavery. That was a real thing. And I'm not saying that some people didn't come from Africa. Some people did, but a very small percentage. You had thousands and thousands of tribes, of Indian tribes here in the Americas before the Europeans came over here, before colonization. So what about them people? That's our people that's in America, the black people, the quote unquote black people, okay? And it's important because, like, you gotta get rid of the labels, bro. You have to, because the labels is what's binding you spiritually. It's like a chain. Because, like, whatever you call yourself, that's who you are. That's who you are. You can't take that away from you. Like, you have to actually say, I am not that, and that I am something else. Like, hey, I had to rename myself, bro. I had to. Because I'm not, like, once you grow consciously, you gotta rename yourself. Because if not, you're gonna be operating on the same programs that you were on with that label that you were using before. If you wanna operate differently, consciously, rename yourself. Identity. It's a real thing, bro. You can't be calling yourself these colors and stuff and expecting something to change, bro. Ain't nothing gonna change until you change yourself. Ain't nothing gonna change. And I'm not even talking about the law aspect of using these labels. I'm not even talking about that. That's a whole nother ballgame. I'm just talking about the spiritual aspect of, like, knowing who you are. And you, at the root of it, you are source. You are the creator of your reality, okay? You are the creator. I am the creator. I am God. What I think, I create. So what I call myself? I call myself right now Indigo Supreme. Understand that Indigo Supreme is a energy, is something that comes with that energy. That's energy. Okay? You gotta find out who you are and create a new identity, because the old labels is dead. Literally dead. It's dead. Like, so you gotta do something different. You know what I mean? Words words hold energy. And I can prove you, if you look up your name right now, look up your fucking name. Excuse my language. Look it up. It's going to literally explain who you are, because that's the identity that was put on you by your parents. Look up your name, bro. Seriously. And then find out who you want to be. Once you figure out who you want to be, create a new identity. That's how quick shit shifts. It just changes that quick. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm like giving you the codes. I'm giving you the secret. You don't have to go by these labels that your parents gave you. You didn't choose that name, bro. Create a different identity, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only telling you this because I love you, though. You know that, right? I'm not just out here talking out my butt. I'm just being honest, bro. Like, I'm telling you what helped me out, because, you know, being programmed with history the way that I was programmed, like, I didn't know much. It's not like I like history. I like real history. I like learning about, you know, God's people, but not stuff that's not liberating. Like, who want to watch death all day? Y'all don't get tired of watching death? Like, really think about it. Like, all y'all turn on the TV, all y'all see is death on the news. Y'all turn on the TV, y'all watch these shows on BET, all you see is death. Like, people speaking death. Like, bro, when we gonna freaking watch something that's actually liberating for our spirit, bro? You know what I mean? I mean, me personally, I'm like an anime guy, like, or I'm watching something that got some supernatural, superhero stuff going on that's liberating. Cause it's like, yo, at the end of the day, we know that this is spiritual warfare at the end of the day. You gotta find out what side you on, though. Are you on the side of life, or are you on the side of death? You gotta pick a side. Cause it's not adding up. You know what I mean? But part of it is also what you are labeling and identifying yourself as. Ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? Ask God, who am I? And who am I meant to be? And that's when you start shedding, you start letting go of these old aspects of yourself that's just not serving you. It's not helping you grow, it's just keeping you stagnant. And I'm talking to myself too, okay? But this is something that I needed to acknowledge in terms of just history in general, because history has programmed us to operate consciously a certain way. Like I said, if you're gonna call yourself something that's like black, in reality, like black in a Black's Law dictionary is symbolized as death. So if I'm calling myself a label that means death in a sense, then I'm just gonna be experiencing death. And I'm not trying to, hear me out. Even with the religion aspect, Christianity, when people think of Jesus, the first thing they think about is what? Dying on a cross, sacrificing themselves for our sins. I need something liberating. First of all, death is not real. It's an illusion. We don't die. We just transmute energy. Like, yo, if you die, then that means you die every night when you go to sleep. But that's no different than Jesus rising from the dead after 3 days. It's the same thing. He's trying to tell you, he died on the cross to show you your power, to show you that it's an illusion, right? Think about it. Transcending the realm, it's not meant to be taken literal. Like, it's the idea of who you are, your spirit, your soul, in the meat suit. You know what I mean? I didn't even finish making my smoothie, bro. I got a big heart. big heart for people, and I want nothing but the best for my people. But a lot of times, we need information that can, be transformative, and that's very transformative. So, ask questions. Any question that you ask, it will get answered. Believe that. Speak it out loud too. Like, it's the age of Aquarius, if you're into astrology. Age of Aquarius is the age of all knowing. All truth will be revealed. Alright? And all fakes will be exposed. You're seeing it in real time right now. Whether you're distracted or not. But your favorite artist, your favorite rapper, your favorite celebrity is getting exposed right now. And it's your job to bring yourself back. Bring yourself back to source. Bring yourself back to nature. And get out the rat race. It's all internal too. There's nothing outside of you, bro. Nothing outside of you. Because guess what? The stuff that's outside of you is a never-ending cycle. Never-ending cycle of desire. Once you let go of desire, you no longer want anything. And the only thing that you truly want is peace, clarity, joy, love. It's the only thing you truly want. When you let go of desire of the physical realm, you're good. You don't need anything else. And then guess what? Now you're on a path of least resistance. Now you're just attracting everything to you. You know what I mean? Like, let go. Let go of the desires, bro. If you want to desire something, desire knowledge, desire wisdom. Ask for God. Ask God for wisdom, discernment, because you have to be able to see. You got to open up this. All right? Open up this frontal lobe right here. You need to open that up. And then you take care of this, because this is the first brain, all right? The second brain, all right? Ask for discernment, ask for clarity, wisdom. You're going to have everything, bro. You have everything, you know what I mean? Wishing you guys nothing but the best, all right? Love you guys. Peace and love.